Good afternoon and welcome to Science TV Crunch News. You are with me, Ben Warangai, and my sign language interpreter, Tobias Omondi. On our first item, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that's Iebc, Chairperson Erastus Ethekon, has issued a stern warning to political parties against the use of violence during party primaries. While appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on the Implementation of the Constitution, CIOC, Ethekon described the confusing scenes that were witnessed at Kasipul constituency on Wednesday as a serious threat to the Republic. The IEBC chair emphasized that the Commission's resolve to ensure peaceful electoral process, stating that the Commission will not allow violence that try to undermine democracy in the country.
Our elections, whether primary party elections or the general elections or the by-elections, must be free from violence, must be free from intimidation, must be free from harassment. We urge caution, we urge people to be calm, we urge people to give Kenyans a fair playing ground for them to exercise their rights to freely choose their leaders. On Monday next week, 29th September, we are launching the voter registration, continuous voter registration exercise across the country, except for those areas where we'll be having by-elections.
The first thing is to mobilize young people at the grassroots level where the registration officers are, and also do the digital platform messages and push them there.
And we would like to appeal to all Kenyans to participate in the voter registration, especially the young, those who have not had a chance to vote before in the country.
Moving on to other news, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has asked the elders in Isiolo County to intervene and speak with the county's political class, warning that their long differences have affected service delivery and threatened peaceful coexistence. The Deputy President, who has been vocal in support for cohesion among the leaders in the county, made the appeal while addressing a delegation of 1,500 elders and grassroots leaders from Isiolo County who visited him at his Irunduni home in Tharaka Nithi County. The Deputy President singled out the fighting between the governor and the county speaker as the main cause of development stagnation. He stated that the political class does not pull only the local development project, but has also contributed to the insecurity that creates risk to critical infrastructure projects within the county.
Wakati viongozi wanaleta kisirani na vita na uchochezi, wananchi wataumia. Kwa sababu mambo ya maendeleo itabaki nyuma, ikiwa ni mambo ya siasa, mambo ya vita, mambo ya mvutano. Hatutaki kabisa kaunti yetu ya Isiolo ama kaunti nyingine yoyote ile katika Jamhuri ya Kenya iwe na vita na iwe na mvutano, kwa sababu maendeleo yetu itarudi nyuma.
Moving on, the Jubilee Party's National Delegations Convention, NDC, chaired by former President Uhuru Kenyatta, is set to be convened today to determine the party's future direction and its path towards a coalition for the upcoming electoral cycle. The high-stakes meeting comes after Uhuru Kenyatta successfully claimed back full control of the party following a long central leadership discussion. The delegates are expected to confirm key resolutions that are aimed at strengthening the former ruling party's structure and giving a clear signal on its political plan. Among the agenda includes reviewing and approving of the party's constitution, organs, policies, and programs as Jubilee looks to rebuild and position itself ahead of the 2027 general election.
Act.
For 3 years, we've been bogged in the courts. We are finally free. And he has finally an opportunity to tell us as a party, what direction do we take? What does he want the party to do going forward? The most important thing is that for Kenyans and members of Jubilee to know their party is back and available for them.
Shifting gears to the Kenya Revenue Authority, and the Kenya Revenue Authority has softened its controversial directive that required a mandatory certificate of origin, that's COO, for all imports, allowing free to sure category of goods and allowing choice documentation. In its new guidance, the taxman has eased the compliance burden by free non-business imports, including used goods, second-hand motor vehicles, personal baggage, bringing examples of no business value and small package of other medicine. For commercial imports on the free list, KRA stated that it will accept other documents in cases where a COO is not available at the time of importation. These provisional measures include accepting an origin declaration, an import permit or license, a customs import declaration form, or a pre-export verification of conformity certificate.
This requirement is definitely in conflict with the principal legislation, the East African Community Customs Management Act, and we foresee this requirement being challenged. Requirement is definitely in conflict with the principal legislation, the East African Community Customs Management Act, and we foresee this requirement being challenged. For the importer who is importing consignment not listed under the goods exempted for this requirement, it means that come 1st of October, you still have to obtain proof of origin.
Moving on, Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya has announced a stop on non-operational savings and credit cooperative society, that's SACCOs, warning that inactive entities will be deregistered and later liquidated. Speaking during the release of the annual SACCO Supervision Report, the CS issued a true deadline for compliance, directing all SACCOs to file their annual returns with the Commissioner of Cooperatives by the end of the current month. The CS also hinted at a potential structural changes within the sector, stating that a review of SACCOs may lead to the compoundment of the system. This move is expected to enhance governance and financial strengthening across the cooperative movement.
which are only registered by the name but are not active will be deregistered and liquidated by the Commissioner for Cooperatives as required by the law. Those which are active and viable will be required to be supervised by SASRA. Otherwise, they shall equally be deregistered and liquidated. Appropriate actions against external auditors who internally failed to render external auditing services in accordance with the SACCO Societies Act and regulation, including a referral of such external auditors to Iebc for additional sanctions.
And finally, top officials from the Siaya County government, including the executive, the County Public Service Board, and the County Assembly leadership, have been summoned by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission over a major employment scam. EACC Nyanza Region Director Abraham Kemboi confirmed the summons on Friday, stating that the Commission is investigating the roles that were played by all the key organs of the devolved unit in the scandal that led to the unprocedural layoff of 382 healthcare personnel who had worked for 8 months. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission's investigation follows a high-level request for action by Siaya Governor James Orengo, who last week called for a comprehensive probe and a lifestyle audit of all the individuals listed in the scam, which allegedly saw job seekers cheated out of millions of shillings. And with that story, we end our news. We'll be back with sports news after this break. Stay tuned.